and welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love, and today is going to be strictly all NBA. There is a lot to get to. The off season's in full swing. Obviously, free agency started yesterday. We have a couple signings. There was one big signing trade that happened today we'll get into. Obviously, there have been a big couple of stories and trades, and we're just going to get into that now on the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please remember to like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Okay, let's get into it. Ja Morant was traded to the Portland Trailblazers. This one was, it was building in terms of the trade. He had been wanting out for close to a year now, maybe a year and a half. And they tried to trade him mid-season, couldn't do it. The Grizzlies just want to start fresh and brand new. So this was the trade. The Memphis Grizzlies traded guard Ja Morant to the Blazers. In exchange, Memphis received Jeremy Grant, Chris Murray, along with $1 million in cash and no draft compensation. That's the trade. This for a star player, people will say that's all you got. And look, notably, if that was all they got, I'd come on here and question it. But this one, look, the report was nobody, or not even the report, just in general, nobody wanted to take Ja. Like, that's what, like, and if they were going to take Ja, it was Memphis that was going to have to give up the pick compensation, not the other team. And so Memphis obviously didn't want to do that. And the Blazers, they found somebody that would take them. I mean, it's crazy. They found Ja Morant. He's on an expiring now. I believe he's on a 1-year contract. The plan for Portland is they're going to start Ja Morant and Damian Lillard together. How is that going to work? I guess because one is a slasher and one is a 3-point shooter. And I guess Dame has proven he could play a little bit off ball, but Ja really needs the ball in his hands. They right now have a log jam at guard. And the reason I say that is because not only do you now have Ja Morant and Damian Lillard, you still have Drew Holiday, Scoot Henderson, and Shaedon Sharpe. And so now I don't even know what that starting lineup is going to look like, just because I guess Denny will be the 3, Kamara will be the 4, and Clinton will be the 5, unless they want to go smaller and start Denny at the 4, and they'll start Drew, Dame, and Ja. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the Portland Trail Blazers are trying to build. Shams Charania reported like for Portland, like this is their big deal. They're not in the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Like, this is their big deal. So I'm going to be honest, I don't know what. And they just hired Mike Nori, who has 1 year to figure this out. Goat One Blazers ownership. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this Blazers team. They're still a young team. Can Ja rejuvenate his career in Portland? If he can, it'd be an absolute mega steal. but I really don't know for the Blazers perspective what even their system is and what they're trying to do. For Memphis, it was just getting Ja off the books and off the roster, out of the locker room. That's what this was. I think it got to a point where they didn't even care what they got back. They were like, look, if we're not getting picks, we're just trying to get him. Please, somebody take him. But nobody would at the trade deadline. Unless they were going to give up a pick and Ja, nobody would take him. And Portland said, hey, we'll take him, but we're not giving you a lot. And and, and that's the deal. There's really not that much more. There's really not that much more to say. You hope Ja can rejuvenate his career. In terms of the fit, Ja has to be a better 3-point shooter. That's just what this is. His 3-point percentages have dropped massively. Like it's bad, and his averages just in general has dropped massively. He's never been a great 3-point shooter anyway, but just looking at the last 3 seasons, from three shot 27.5%. He shot basically 31%, and then this past year in the 20 games he played, he shot, guess this, he shot 23.5%. As a point guard in the NBA, especially a starting point, it's not going to cut it. And I know he talked about how he had kind of lost his joy in Memphis because they traded away Jaren. They got rid of Brooks, got rid of Bane, got rid of Adams, all the people he liked playing with. So that's a real thing, but I don't know, man. It's it's crazy now that you think about it. That Ja Morant's value had dipped so low that they that uh they couldn't even get a pick for him. Yeah, hopefully he can rejuvenate his career in Portland. If he can, it's a steal. Speaking of trades, we are going to segue into another one. Kawhi Leonard has been traded from the Los Angeles Clippers in a blockbuster deal. He is going back to the Toronto Raptors. How ironic. The trade is Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and unprotected first round picks in 2031 and 2023, and a 2027 first round pick swap and 2 second round picks. It's just hilarious to me that apparently Kawhi wants to retire in Toronto. It's just hilarious to me this, because I look at this and I'm like, you just wasted 7 years of your prime, or at least you were in your prime when you joined the Clippers. That he wanted to go home and play for the Clippers, and look, his time at the Clippers was a fail. Or I mean, yeah, we could call it that. It was a fail. I mean, in 7 years, he did what? He went to one conference finals. He got out of the first round 2 times, blew a 3-1 lead. There were a couple years there where he was injured, missed a season because of a torn ACL, couldn't play in that Suns playoff series because he had the torn ACL. Uh the one series against Dallas, it's Russ, it's Harden, it's George, it's Kawhi, and they lose in 6 games because he can't play. Uh, the Clippers, look, it was time to move on. Once they traded James Harden, you knew what was coming, right? And so now I look at the Clippers. Do they believe Keaton Wagler is their franchise piece? You would probably think yes, considering they drafted him at 5. Because they're at 5 with this new lottery system next year, they're gonna be bad more than likely, and they can get in the top 4 of the draft. And it's so early to be looking to that 2027 draft, but that's what it is. For the Toronto side of it, look, Toronto now in that East, it's very intriguing because Scott, you got 2 top 15 to 20 players on your roster now. You got Kawhi Leonard, you got Scotty Barnes. You still have Quickly. Again, I would like a real point guard. He's a 2 guard. He's not an actual point guard. Right? They have a lot of length. The Colin Murray Boyles, Kawhi, Scotty Barnes defensive trio, that's scaring me because they now can really lock you down there and guard. The big question is Kawhi going to be healthy? Because Scotty, I think he played 80 games last season. Should have been All NBA, but that's besides the point. He played 80 games last season, and he's such a good all around player, scoring, rebounding, assisting, defense. If it's gonna fit with Kawhi. Toronto to me now just they become very interesting because when I looked at the East now before the trade, I didn't really consider them as maybe a top 5 team. I thought, look, before the trade, pro you or even before even the Giannis trade, you were looking at the East. You were looking New York, Indiana, Boston, Detroit, Cleveland. That's where you were looking at. Now I'm looking at an Eastern Conference where Jaylen Brown's going to get traded, but we probably don't know for what. But you're going to assume Boston's not as good. The Pacers are going to get Halliburton back, so you know they're going to be better. The Knicks are going to maybe losing some guys, so they may take a dip but still be really good. And in Detroit, it all depends on Duran. I don't know what the heck Detroit all season plan is. I mean, obviously they got the guard from Stanford in the draft, so that will help with the scoring, but you realistically, oh, and Tobias Harris is gone. We'll talk about that, considering Tobias is on San Antonio now. But yeah, you're just looking at this East, and I'm thinking, look, Giannis, the roster construction, the Heat have to get right, but overall, it's the East is going to be way better, especially when you consider I thought Washington could pass them up. Now they're in a conversation for top 4, and look, Toronto said to themselves, look, last year we won 46 games. And sure, if we were healthy, we may have been able to beat Cleveland in the first round. But they knew they weren't in the cream of the crop in terms of the East teams. That it was like, okay, you're here, but not a lot of teams take you seriously as a serious like championship playoff contending threat. Now, if they stay healthy, you got to, and give Give credit to the Toronto front office. They went out and they made an aggressive move. This is a big time aggressive move. They said, how do we ensure the fact that we're a playoff team for the next upcoming years? 2 to 3, whatever the case may be. I go out and get Kawhi Leonard. And that's what they did. And I think it's going to fit really well, especially defensively. They're going to be able to lock people down. They're also going to be able to score. Right? They're also going to be able to score. Kawhi Leonard's coming off of off of a career year. But it didn't mean much because they didn't win, and that wasn't necessarily his fault. And then you take into account RJ Barrett still here. He was a big part of the Raptors being good. Quickly he'll still be here. Colin Murray Boyle's coming into his own. James about like the Raptors have pieces. And so they're thinking they're going to be able to compete for a top 4 to 5 spot, and why wouldn't they be able to? Now with the roster that they have, and in the East that is really going to be very good, but it's going to be compacted, those 1 through 7 slots. It's going to this is a heck of a trade for Toronto, in my opinion. It's also a good trade for the Clippers because you get Kawhi off the books, you get some picks back. I think Grady Dick's a good young player. Don't know what they're gonna do with Ingram. Don't know what the deal is with Matherin there and what the holdup is there with getting him signed. Probably because he wants $30 million a year, I will assume. But yeah, that's a big deal. But another big deal, LeBron James has left the Lakers. Or basically, he's leaving the Lakers. He will not be coming back. The stint the stint ends. LeBron James is looking for happiness, not happiness in being able to compete for a championship. The report is LeBron James is willing to accept a minimum contract, a minute, a veteran minimum, if if he feels like a team is really a contender, and if that team adds him, they could be put over the top. I'm going to be honest here with you. The Lakers, his time in LA, people will say it's a failure. It's not. He won a championship. Yes, the bubble counts. I don't care. Like, they won a championship. Like, you knew what the bubble was going in. Right? If Miami had won it, would you have discounted it? No. So they won a championship. And before even the championship, they were like 53-9. So like, oh, okay. Post his time in LA, we have to be honest. Post 2020, it was rough, and you can people will blame LeBron for that, brother. You can blame a lot of it on LeBron. That's fine. I'm blaming Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka post 2020 did not do well with his roster construction. That's what it is. And we're gonna get in. Honestly, I'm going to segue one of the signings he made today into this, because nothing like what he's doing doesn't make sense. But the roster construction post 2020, they were not a contender after 2021. The Rush trade, LeBron pushed for that. You can blame him. You can blame LeBron for that. Absolutely right. That whole season, that whole debacle, but and he probably pushed for Carmelo Anthony too. But that roster, and that's just 1 year. The roster after that, they never, even when Rob made the trades for Rui and they lucked into Reeves, right? They never, and I'm going to be honest, they never post 2021 were a championship threat. Ever. They were able to get to the conference finals, but they got swept by the Nuggets, meaning they were far away from a championship. They weren't a viable championship contending team post 2021. And look, the Luka trade, which I'm not even giving Rob Pelinka credit for because Nico Harrison came to him with that offer. All Rob Pelinka had to do was say yes. That's all he had to do. So Rob didn't fleece anybody. He didn't come. That was just Nico being in the front office being stupid. Let's just be honest. So I'm not giving him credit. So I'm not giving Rob Pelinka credit for that. Rob Rob Pelinka's time as the GM, yeah, he got a ring, but can we be honest about it? Like, the reason LeBron came to LA was not because of Rob Pelinka. It was because of Magic Johnson. The reason Anthony Davis wanted to come to LA, I mean, Magic Johnson was also partially recruiting him, but also it was because of LeBron James. He wanted to play with LeBron James, and he felt like him and LeBron James could win a championship. You never got them a center. He said, look, Anthony Davis said, look, I think we really need a center. I think that could really help us. I think in my career, I've been better as a power forward with a center running mate. Rob Pelinka says, okay, I'm going to trade you for Luka Doncic. They then go and lose in the first round to the Timberwolves because Rudy Gobert beats them on the glass and they have no size. What is your answer at size? You go get DeAndre Ayton. A lot of people, there were Lakers fans that tried to gaslight people into thinking that would work. I came on here and told you when they signed him it wasn't gonna work, and look what happened. It didn't work. That's the fact of the matter is you then signed LeBron to that big extension at the time, which kind of handicapped you a little bit. Which again, I still don't understand why you did that, but go ahead. And so now, and look, last year you can say, well, if Luka's healthy, I don't. Would you have been the Thunder? Maybe. You were so far away, you got swept. You got lucky to beat Houston. Quite frankly, that should have easily been a sweep. They took you to 6 games. So yeah, and now LeBron's gone because this team as currently constructed cannot win a championship. Reeves got his back. That's cool. In the backcourt, who is going to guard anybody? Who are Luka and Reeves going to guard? Like, seriously, like, that is a legit basketball question, and it's a basketball question that I've had for about that backcourt. And I'm not even saying Austin Reeves doesn't deserve his back, but if you're gonna have a Luka and Reeves backcourt, you better put them around guys that can defend. And he has not done that. Now, I we talked about the center. He finally got a center. He finally got a center. Except LeBron's not going to be on the roster. You wait till LeBron is gone to get a center. Yes, they got one. Sign and trade. Walker Kessler. They signed Walker Kessler to 4 years, $130 million. They have to end up giving up 4 first round picks to get Walker Kessler. Who is, and I because he's a restricted free agent, right? The Lakers weren't just going to try to sign him and the Jazz not match the deal. The Jazz were like, look, if we're giving away Walker Kessler, I'm going to get something for him. And Danny Ainge, he's done it again. 4 first round picks. He's done it again. He was able to get like 6 picks for Gobert. Like Danny Ainge, it's a great trade for them. For the Lakers, look, it's a good trade. 4 picks, 4 first, like that's my thing. I don't even think you had to. I wouldn't have given up 4 first for Walker Kessler, but at the same time, can you really blame Rob Pelinka because he's desperate? He is desperate because it was like, if I don't get him, who's left? Mitchell Robinson can't be a starting center because of his inability to make free throws. Duren? But then you're kind of in the same situation because Detroit will probably want to match you unless they got pick compensation back. So you were already going to be in the same situation if you tried to sign Duren. And look, the fan base wasn't going to be happy with that because look at the playoffs. So I don't know. I think it's real. Look, it's a good move to get him because he's young and he's what you need. 7 foot, can rim run, block shots. He's a double guy. I think he averaged 12 and 10. Very good player for the Lakers. However, the signing of Sandro Mukashvili, to me, I'm sorry, is egregious. It's okay, let me put this in perspective. It doesn't have anything to do with Sandro. It has everything to do with the Lakers. Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart, who were 2 vital pieces of depth, who both played excellent in the playoffs. And Smart had been excellent in the regular seasons as well. Basically, they were key parts. They both signed, I think Smart was 2-year, $13 million, and Kennard was like 2-year, $12 million. In total, that's what? $13 million. Or close to it. $13 million. One of them it may have been 6.5. So close to $13 million. You signed Sandro for $13 million a year. Why didn't you just bring back Smart and Kennard? I don't understand what he's doing. And then you sign Colin Sexton to a similar deal, I guess. But is Sandro supposed to be the Rui replacement? If that's your Rui replacement, brother, man, that ain't good. You could have just re-signed Smart and Kennard and been better off. I would have looked at the Lakers like, okay, yes, the Walker Kessler deal, giving up the picks is not ideal, but then you re-sign Smart, you re-sign Kennard. He's having a good offseason. Then you paid 4 years, $60 million for Quentin Grimes. How in the world? Somebody explain to me how you overpaid for Quentin Grimes. $15 million a year for Quentin Grimes. You massively overpay for him. So, on one hand, yes, he's signing people, but on the other hand, he's not getting really good deals out of it. And then what's funny about this lineup right now, when I'm looking at the projected lineup, is LeBron fits perfectly into this lineup. You traded Anthony Davis, you waited till LeBron was gone to get a center. I let's just move on. Because I guess Rob Pelinka, again, I will say it time and time again, Rob Pelinka, I don't know if the Lakers are going to win with Rob Pelinka as their GM, because he's just not making the right moves in my opinion. And whoa, we have a blockbuster deal that I just saw. The Celtics agreed to trade Jaylen Brown. He's on the move to the Sixers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 seconds. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Philly just became a contender and quick, and they only had to give up 2 firsts. It's Boston. Okay, so Boston, to me, they Tatum, as good as he is, they're not a top 2. They're not a top 2 team anymore. The right they because this is my instant reaction. Philly now has a roster of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown at the 3, have no idea who their 4 will be, and they still have Joel Embiid. This is big. This is massive. Obviously, I don't know how healthy Joel Embiid's going to be. Let's just start there. But overall, those 3 guards that you have now, the Sixers, to me, in the East, they are now a top 3 team. I just think off the top of my head. I mean, you only got Paul George and 2 firsts. That's a, if I am the Philadelphia 76, if I'm a Sixers fan, I'm over the moon. I am absolutely over the moon. You just got 2. You basically gave up. I don't care about the seconds. Paul George and 2 firsts is essentially the trade. If I'm a Sixers fan, if you're a Sixers fan, you're taking that all day to run with it. The JB and Jason Tatum now duo is over. And what's hilarious about this trade too is they just traded him to the team that blew a 3-1 lead, to the team that came back from 3-1 against them. Wow. So Jaylen Brown's now in Philly to go along with Maxey and Edgecombe and Embiid. Is this a year where the Sixers can finally get over the hump and get to the conference finals? The East is loaded. The East is loaded now. Like Philly. Like this is I'm stunned. I'm shook. Indiana, New York, Philly, Cleveland, Detroit, Miami, Washington, Toronto. The East is going to be a bloodbath. it's going to be a bloodbath. Wow, Jaylen Brown. I'll have to make that one a separate video. Once I really process my thoughts in the basketball fit and all that, I'll really have to process my thoughts on that. But yeah, breaking news: Jaylen Brown's been traded to the Sixers. We move on, and we'll end it with this, and then I'll go make it a separate video. Tobias Harris to the Spurs and Kelly Oubre Jr. to the Pacers. Obviously, as a Pacers fan, Kelly Oubre, it's a good market value deal. Essentially, the Mathurin replacement. Um, Only 2 years, 17 million, about in between 8 and 9 million a year. Gives you great length because he's 6'8", 6'9". The Pacers obviously will be back because Hallie's one of the best in the sport. You add Zubac, Siakam, they're good. I now look at I now Tobias Harris to the Spurs is exactly what the Spurs needed. They needed somebody who was a stretch forward that could go and shoot the three and had the right size and could really defend as a four. Tobias Harris has been playing as a four for a while, so that's a good move. But wow, this Jaylen Brown trade just has me shook. But yeah, I'll make that a separate video, and we'll talk about that because wow. But yeah, this has been an episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. I'm so glad I checked my phone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.